Welcome. Welcome everyone here in the sanctuary today, and to those of you who are watching on the live stream from wherever you are. You are very welcome here to a time and a space that's all about this lady here on my right. From the beautiful flowers, so carefully chosen in type and in colour as some of her favourites, to the slideshow of photographs that many of you will have seen as you arrived today, to the music that you will have heard, to the piping from nephews, to the crafted words of this next wee while. Much time and love has been spent since the 6th of January preparing for today, and I definitely shouldn't be adding to it. Suffice to say that it was also important to Lisa's family that today should take place here in Arbroath, not too far from where it all began. Here, where the foundations of Lisa's character were formed in the family and with her friends, and the many, many different things they got up to, and you only need to look at the photographs to see that. Here, not that far from where she and James were married. Here, Arbroath, the first town that she called home. So we're going to begin our memorial service today with a prayer, a time to settle ourselves, to put down the to-do lists and the diaries, and to just focus on remembering, on acknowledging, on smiling, laughing even, and shedding a tear or two, no doubt, for someone that we have loved, admired, and respected has died so young. And today we want to pay tribute and reflect on all that she has brought to us. I make no apology for the eagle-eyed or the eagle-eared among you, for the prayers today are similar to those that were spoken in December 2020, when many of us were here to pay tribute to Lisa's father. So as we begin our time together this afternoon, let's come together in prayer. Almighty God, we come to you. We come with faith and with doubt, with hope and hurt, with questions and with hearts still to be healed. But we come. God of the new and of the old, faithful for the countless generations who've watched the sun set and rise again the next day. In your presence in this building, in the gift that is today, we come to remember and give thanks for Lisa Roberts, for her life, for her loss, for her memory. God, you stand with those who rejoice and those who mourn. And so we trust that you stand with us in all the heights and the depths of life, and that there's no part of life's journey where you leave or forsake us. So be with us today as we remember, as we give thanks for the way that Lisa's life was entwined with and touched our own, as wife and mother, as part of the family, as a friend or companion along the way, sharing one of her many interests. Make our memories of Lisa as fresh today as when they first took place, and inspire in us the zest for life, the commitment to it, and its opportunities that Lisa grasped. Yet let your peace flow through us now, we ask, as we remember Lisa's life in all its fullness. Amen. Now, amongst the beautiful photographs on your order of service, you will see that we have 3 hymns today. All of those hymns are hymns of praise, of celebration. The first, which is often sung at Easter time, is a hymn written by a French French-speaking Swiss evangelist. And it's perhaps appropriate with Lisa's enjoyment of travel and of many holidays to France. We stand together to sing, "Thine Be the Glory." Please be seated. Four of the most important people in Lisa's life were her children, and each in their own way today wants to pay tribute to their mother. So first of all, I'm going to invite Rosie to come up to the microphone here and to share a poem with us. Rosie.
May the winds of love blow softly. May the winds of love blow softly and whisper for you to hear, that we will love and remember you and forever keep you near. Though her smile has gone forever and her hands we cannot touch, we shall never lose the memory of the mother we all loved so much. Thank you for the years we shared, the love you gave, the way you cared. In our hearts, you'll always stay loved and remembered every day.
As I seem to be getting a bit of feedback, I'll move microphones. Thank you, Rosie. Thank you for introducing in the tributes the theme of love, which I think will run throughout our service today. Sophia, can I invite you now to share your thoughts?
Mama Bear, on this special day, we celebrate your love in every way. Nothing compares to the love we share inside. It's like an eternal flame, never does it subside. A treasure that is cherished, a gift from God above. This treasure we shared with you is called unconditional love. It's able to weather any storm, a love that stays strong. Reaching out its hand, it always guides us along. This love asks no questions and believes all the best. It's everlasting, never doubting, withstanding any test. It's a heart that cares, a love that shares. It's like a beacon, bright and clear. It fills us with the strength to persevere. I'm with you no matter where we are. I'm always here, trust me, I'm never far. Thank you, Mama, for all your love and care. We will honour you with gratitude and prayer.
Poetry often conveys, doesn't it, what we want to say in more than just the words that we speak. Both those were beautiful girls. Thank you so much. But I'm sure you're wanting to hear something of Lisa's life. Many of you here will know snippets. Many of you here will know much. But I suspect that in the next few minutes, you may learn something that you didn't know. Susie and Johnny, would you like to share with us?
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you all for coming to celebrate the life of a truly incredible and special person, Lisa Roberts. Thank you also to Minister Chris for hosting us in this beautiful church. If you'd like to make a donation to the West Kirk, you can do so at the entrance at the doors just behind you. Whether we knew her as Lisa, Lise, or Janie, a beloved family member, or as a friend, she was an endless ray of sunshine in all of our lives. All who knew her, she touched with love, positivity, and kindness. On the 20th of April, 1966, in Arbroath Infirmary, Mum was brought into the world by the loving parents, Florence and Ian Sterling. Their second child, and only 13 months after older brother Peter. Mum was soon joined by 5 more siblings, Emma, Gavin, Katie, Guy, and Nikki. This made the Sterling household a very lively place to grow up, but it also made for a very strong workforce on the family farm. From the age of 5, Mum and the siblings earned their keep at Dickmintlaw Farm, picking berries and tatties. Mum was never one to shy away from putting in a bit of elbow grease.
In 1971, aged 5, Mum began commuting with Peter on the public bus to Inverkeeler Primary School. Here, her talents shone through, and she was crowned sports champion in Primary 7. At aged 11, Mum moved to Dundee High and became a formidable force on the tennis court, winning the school cup. She also had successes on the hockey pitch and athletics track. It was at Dundee High where she met several great friends, including her lifelong best friend, Sarah Robson. Mum grew up riding the much-loved ponies gifted to her from her grandfather, who was a Clydesdale breeder, her favourite being Pie, a gorgeous Palomino. Mum and Emma had great fun staying at Errol Riding School each summer with a crew of friends, including Sammy, Fiona, Wendy, Di, and Sarah. At the end of summer, it was a treat for Mum and the siblings to join the Porter family up at Cashley in the Highlands. where all the kids spent many happy days in the river and up in the hills. The Porters, Bruces, and Smiths were great family friends growing up and into the teenage years, which became increasingly wild and full of parties. Mum and Co. soon swapped 4 legs for 4 wheels, and weekends were now spent racing around the countryside, from Angus to Dundee to Perth, and especially to Marbells and St Andrews. The usual suspects would all be there. It was what you might call good old-fashioned fun.
Hometown Arbroath was also a bit of a scene for Mum and the Angus motley crew, largely because of the infamous Smokies nightclub, owned by Grandad at the time. It's funny, whenever I asked Mum or any of her friends what it was like, you would just see a broad smile spread across their face, followed by, Smokies. We had such fun in there. The cheeky smiles and lack of further detail suggest that many a great night, and perhaps dubious night, were shared in there. Themed parties featured heavily, prostitutes and strippers, saints and sinners, and toga parties. Even with the influence of 80s fashion, which included spiky hair, perms, short skirts, shoulder pads, pedal pushers, and a lot of eyeliner, Mum always managed to look glamorous and was careful not to fully immerse herself. As Sarah put it, she always stayed on the right side of Depeche Mode. Despite the countless wild times Mum shone at Dundee High, passing with straight A's and leading her to a degree in art history and languages at Edinburgh University. After first year in Pollock Halls, Mum shared with Di Porter in Marchmount, where many great dinner parties were had. Although Granny recalls that Mum never ever sat on the Lucy in any of her rented flats.
In 1987, Mum moved on to the next chapter and did a postgraduate degree in Languages and Secretarial Studies at Cambridge Polytechnic, joining sister Emma, Alison Arnold, and Sarah. Living together at Collier's Road, on Collier's Road with Alison, Mum looked back on that year with such fondness and often spoke of her time there. Alison said Mum had truly mastered the art of work hard, play hard. After Cambridge, Mum moved to Fulham and worked in London for about 6 months before promptly upping sticks and embarking on a world tour with Emma. First stop on the tour was straight to the deep end, Delhi. The pair found themselves in a less than salubrious guest house, which had promised an ensuite but offered a hose pipe in the wall instead. After a night in their orange plastic survival bags and a tearful call home, Emma and Mum decided to make a swift early exit to Thailand. Here they trekked for 2 weeks, followed by Singapore, Bali, Hong Kong, and Tokyo, before hitting the west coast of Australia and staying with Auntie Maureen in Perth. They then met up with Sarah on the east coast and spent a month trundling around Australia on a bus, with only the Lonely Planet book as a guide. One fateful night, Mum and Sarah hopped off the bus for what they thought was a rest stop. On returning, they watched in disbelief as the bus pulled away, its rear lights disappearing into the darkness. With only $10 between them in the dead of night, panic set in as the third and fourth bus they had tried to blag themselves onto came and went. Turning to Sarah, Mum said, "Cry, cry now, we've got to get this bus." And sure enough, the fake tears got them in place, and hours later they were reunited with the distressed Emma, who'd been guarding their rucksacks at the bus station. The rest of Mum's travels took her and Emma to New Zealand, where they met with Lockie and did the terrifying bungee jump in Queenstown, to then Hawaii, and finally to LA, where they met with Louise Goodfellow before returning home. Once back in the UK, Mum bought a flat in Edinburgh, aged 24, and moved into Glencairn Crescent in the West End. She began work as an outplacement counsellor for a recruitment company helping redundant workers. There were lots of happy memories from those days in Edinburgh, as many close friends had also made the move, Wigham's Wine Bar being a favourite watering hole. It was during this period that Mum went to a fashion show at Scone Palace. Her boyfriend at the time was very enthusiastic about the whole spectacle and whisked Mum off to meet the models afterwards, among whom was a young Jamie Roberts, fresh off the catwalk. To be continued.
Mum's travels were far from over, and she teamed up with Fiona Pratt to take on Africa. First off, they canoed down the Zambezi. Apparently, due to Mum's good looks, she was picked as the guide's mate in his canoe. Fiona was rather envious until Mum's canoe, with her in the lead seat, was used to distract some charging hippos. They would laugh about Mum's white-knuckled expression for a long time. Evenings were spent camping under the stars, listening to the wild animals, and hoping that nothing too large came near. It was magical stuff. Then, without any map or guidebook, they decided to stick out their thumbs and hitchhike from Zimbabwe to Malawi. Soon enough, a truck driver pulled over and told them their plan was mad. But luckily, he had children the same age and agreed to take them to Malawi. Mum and Fiona gave him his pills, fed him a steady supply of gin and tonics to keep him awake while he spoke of his smuggling exploits. Somehow managing to navigate rough truck bars and dodgy police encounters along the way, the sun continued to shine on Mum and Fiona, and they made it to Malawi safely. To summarize, they had an absolute blast and practiced what you might call a laissez-faire approach to traveling. Back in Scotland once more, at Torquil Mackenzie Buer's party in Inverness, Mum and Dad met properly. Mum hosted a dinner party soon after in Edinburgh, to which Dad was invited, and there began their journey together. On the 19th of February 1994, Dad proposed to Mum on the Isle of Iona, and after a quick turnaround, they were married in St. Vigin's Church, Arbroath, on the 8th of July the same year. Mum, after being convinced she would never marry a farmer, not only did that with Dad, but then moved to our home, called Law Hill, 10 minutes away from where Granny grew up, in Blackford. Granny, on the other hand, moved from Blackford to join Grandad at Dickman Law, right next to the iconic Law Hill trees of Arbroath. Mum always loved the serendipity of it all. Making the most of 4 years of peace and quiet before us kids came on the scene, Mum and Dad had memorable trips to Peru, Greece, and Egypt, while also feathering the Law Hill nest at the same time. In 1998, Rosie came first, followed by myself, Sophia, and finally Susie in 2005. So began the Roberts family, and what an upbringing we had. Mum loved exploring different cultures, and she wanted us to experience the same, despite the chaos of travelling with 4 young children. Holidays included Spain, Portugal, Paris, where we'd see the Burnsides, and Italy, where Mum would amaze us with her fluent Italian. We often stayed with Louise and Verbier, and we have such fond memories of Mum and Dad trying to contain their brood of ducklings who were bombing down the slopes, freshly unleashed from the French ski school. Mum also immersed us in our own culture, bonnie Scotland. We scrambled up plenty of Munros, willingly or not. An example of this was when Sophia literally had no choice but to successfully summit Ben Nevis. Mum was 5 months pregnant at the time. With her at the time, I should say. Somewhere along the line, Mum and Dad heard about a stunning island off the west coast of Scotland, Tiree. Mum, who loved the sea air and had a soft spot for island life, immediately fell for Tiree's rugged beauty and wholesome activities. Soon, almost all of our summer holidays were spent there. Having to leave Law Hill at 4 a.m. each time to catch the Oban ferry, journeys to Tiree were notoriously eventful. At the peak of the madness, there were 4 kids, 2 dogs, 4 horses, both driven in convoy by Mum and Dad. The standout journey was probably when Mum was travelling solo with 3 kids, 2 horses, and the horse box brakes failed coming down the steep hill into Oban, causing the Landy to jackknife and crash into the wall. With 2 of the 4 horsebox wheels out of action and the front left tyre of the Landy hanging off at a right angle, I'd say 99% of people would probably have stopped to assess the damage, but not Mum. Instead, she ploughed on through the streets of Oban towards the ferry terminal. With smoke billowing, tyres screeching, and the smell of burning rubber filling the air, it was very amusing to see passers-by trying to hail Mum down and signal that something was wrong, as if she didn't know. By some miracle, we made it to the dock, and Mum, still with Tiree in her sights, fleeced off to get the tickets, leaving the girls to unload the horses in the middle of the ferry terminal, and myself and some random recruits to try and fix the wheels. There were more hiccups embarking and disembarking the ferry, but led by Mum's sheer tenacity, we arrived on Tiree.
The Tiree journeys only added to the excitement, and after years of looking, the perfect patch, or rather thatch, came along in 2007, and Mum bought our very own Tiree getaway. Dunborig, nicknamed the Thatchy, became the definition of our home away from home and was an enormous part of our lives. Mum loved everything about Tiree and the haven that she had created, not only for us, but for the many friends and families who came to stay. Part of the reason Mum loved Tiree so much was because she was an incredibly grounded person. She demonstrated so beautifully that you can look gorgeous, live an action-packed life, and still be so wholesome and connected to nature. She would be the first person to leave her phone behind and seek out some sun on her face, some fresh air, some sand between the toes, or some icy water to swim in. As we got older, the adventures didn't stop, and Mum and Dad took us to Mexico, Kenya, and Sri Lanka, leaving us with a wealth of happy family memories to talk about for the rest of our lives. Each November, for many years, Mum would travel to Mauritius with the Sterlings to the beloved St. Joanne Hotel. With drinks and dinner on the beach, trips out into the turquoise waters, and, of course, competitive battles on the tennis court, Mum always said how precious this quality time was with her family. Despite the Sterlings having busy lives of their own, wider family gatherings with all the cousins were frequent, and Mum cherished every second of them. She had a genuine interest in the lives of every family member, regardless of age. At Low Hill, Mum was a brilliant and welcoming hostess. This included toddler team garden parties, wilder teenage blowouts, and adult dinner parties that roared with laughter. Throughout all, Mum was incredibly generous, friendly, and fun-loving, making guests of all ages feel at home. Mum had an eye for what looked good, and put so much time and energy into making her house and garden the beautiful place it is today. Even after a busy day, you would often catch Mum pottering about the garden and watering her plants at 11 p.m. at night. Mum also adored the menagerie of animals we had, and somehow found the time to lovingly look after them all. Mum was the most devoted and passionate mother hen. Despite having 4 kids, she gave all of us equal time, love, and unwavering support in any way she could. Mum would laugh and call herself the chauffeur. As if the 3 different school runs in one day weren't enough, Mum also squeezed in an ungodly amount of extra clubs and activities. She constantly encouraged us to try new things and get out of our comfort zone. When I started doing pentathlon, Mum was right there every step of the way. The 2 of us would race around Scotland for training, and frequently she would drive me down the length of the UK for national competitions, and even all the way, well, didn't drive me, but went out to Eastern Europe for international competitions as well. No matter what the activity was, Mum was always there supporting us, literally right there, as she would run alongside us in running races, or dash between the horse jumps on the country courses. One time, at the infamous Strathallan running race, the leading girl fell over. Sophia, who is currently in second, was conflicted about what to do. But after hearing Mum shout, "Don't stop, keep going! Run, Sophia, run!" she stormed on to secure the gold. Mum believed in us, even when sometimes we didn't believe in ourselves. She was, and will continue to be, a steadfast and reassuring rock amid the waves of life's challenges. All Mum's incredible virtues have shaped us into the people we are today and have given us the self-belief to be our own rocks. We feel lucky and privileged to have had such a special person in our lives, the kindest of mothers and a best friend. We could not be more proud to be her children, and we will cherish every second that we spent with her. Mum was the most positive person we know, regardless of life circumstances. It always seemed that Mum had luck on her side, but rather she drew positive people and outcomes towards her. Where others could only see hardship, Mum saw it as a positive in disguise, an opportunity to shape you into a better person.
Kindness, love, and care was at the heart of everything that Mum did, not only towards her loved ones, but also to those that she did not know. She was such a giver and spread love in so many ways, whether that was making delicious meals, giving Reiki, her uplifting messages and phone calls, or creating happy memories for her holiday cottage guests and friends on Tyree, volunteering at Homestart, or simply just her infectious laugh. So rich was Mum's character that it's impossible to touch on all of her shining qualities. Her dodgy sense of humour, her radiance, her desire to grow and learn, her willpower and discipline, her unfaltering moral compass, and her powerful intuition. The list is endless. Mum shared these wonderful qualities with all of us here today. Everyone will have their own precious memories of Lisa, but we hope this has painted a picture of what an incredible person she was to all that knew her. We know that she will always be around us and will live on in this life through all of us here today. Love and God bless you, Mum. Thank you.
I'm glad I didn't have to ask you to do that, folks. Susie, Johnny, I meant what I said. I didn't need to say anything at the beginning of the service because you would fill in all the gaps. You've not just taken us on a tour of your mum's life, you've taken us on a world tour as well with all her experiences. But there's one thing that I will remember. I'd forgotten about pedal pushers. In a service of thanksgiving, of celebration, of memorial like today, it's often easy to fill it with words. And there are so many words to share today, so much information, but it can become a bit of a blur. So before we hear from Jamie, we're going to listen to a piece of music that was special to them. It's a piece of music that is well known. It's been adapted and covered by over 125 artists. It's been translated into multiple languages. The combination of melody and lyrics has the ability to touch the human spirit, and it's a message of both strength and support, of hope and resilience. We're going to listen to most of Josh Goben singing You Raise Me Up. Well, I hope we are. We're now going to listen to the person who he calls Lisa the love of his life. In his own inimitable way, Jamie, would you join me?
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Not the easiest song to speak after, but just so you all know, we actually had that one at Lisa's burial. So, very poignant song that we played. I'm going to read a poem that I've constructed over quite some time, and I hope it will mean something to you all. It certainly was a good journey for me anyway. Can I start by saying thank you for coming here today to celebrate our love for Lisa in every single way. Lisa came from a very sporting family, very competitive, living by the sea. Running, riding, swimming and tennis too were mastered by Lisa. It is so true. A wild childhood everyone could see. Peter and Emma, and then there were 3. Gavin, Katie, Guy and Nikki made 7. Ian and Flo, a match made in heaven. Growing up with such freedom and love set them to fly high like the wings of a dove. I first met Lisa at a fashion show where I pranced on a catwalk not many know. I don't think I impressed her there with my best as I strutted my stuff and pranced in my vest. But just maybe by giving it a try, it might be worth knowing this new farmer guy. But it wasn't till we came together in '93 when we next met and fell in love, you see. 'Twas on the bonny banks of Loch Ness that I first kissed my lass with tenderness. And July '94, we married at Windy Hills. Such joy that day, and so many thrills. We then travelled the world for the first 3 years, mostly with joy, sometimes with tears. We took some time to see the world while we were young and our lives unfurled. No cares in the world and to get together, and wanted to try and do that forever. We came together as friends and lovers, and then Lisa in turn, a fantastic mother. We then raised a family all of our own and lived at Law Hill, where we call home. And then after some years, Rosie first through the door, and then came Johnny, Sophia next, and finally Susie, no more. So many memories created all along the way, with life, love and laughter each and every day. Our children must have all... Sorry, I'm just going to blow my nose, just easier to stop sniffing. Maybe. Our children have all grown up to be beautiful souls, and that must be any proud parent's ultimate goals. To be decent people who give more than receive, and who we know, we trust and truly believe. Each of them will carry their own path through life, and maybe 3 husbands, and maybe 1 wife. But Lisa will be there to guide on their way with all the sayings she used to say. But it is with great pride she watched them grow into the children we love and the adults we now know. Lisa loved reading books and taking them to heart, Each and every new book was a brand new start. And Lisa loved her yoga, but Reiki was her newfound love. She didn't have to do it. She didn't need a shove. If truth be told, Lisa was becoming a modern-day sage, never ever frightened to turn another page. To try certain new things, it certainly did not faze, but for many other people, it could leave them in quite a daze. She made new friends at Lendrick, and that made her smile so bright, as she knew what she was doing, and she felt it was so right. The children all joined in these learnings too, and gleaned from their mother, oh so true, and she wanted them to learn from her with all her new ways, and always offered them to learn and then give them great praise. To try something new out of their comfort zone, to learn new things, to learn and to hone. But some new ways Lisa would carefully sometimes head was not always what the children wanted, and so very carefully they would tread. It would sometimes make the kids sit on the fence, as not all of Lisa's learnings made the greatest sense. But mind meditation and salute to the sun, some of it was serious and some of it was fun. But Lisa's heart centre was the best, but craved more of the little-known ways of the world gone before. So she strived to learn new things and to fill her fleece boots, and with all things holistic and the many varied offshoots. From dowsing to yoga and Reiki too, her light always shone so bright, her light always shone so true. So she taught our children well, which they really did embrace, and which will now truly help them in life with anything they might face. Belle and Bonnie came to join us in the spring of last year. They came into the kitchen with no hint of puppy fear, all fluffy and white to give us great hope, to shine their light and to help us cope. Fluffy and white sisters too, Lisa gave us these pups. One more legacy, it's true. She trained them often and so well, and cast upon them her worldly spell. They are sweetness almost beyond compare, and have been so good for us when we needed them there. Over the years, we had holidays to far-off places, to see new sights and to meet new faces. Lisa was a master holiday planner, of that there's no doubt, and knew how to do it and what it's all about. We sometimes travelled with family far and wide, ever-increasing numbers by our side. The terror to others of 6 and a buggy in a crowd, you always heard us coming. We were so loud. Africa and Sri Lanka, to name but a few. They were amazing trips, rooms always with a view. Or hiking a hill, that was her special tonic, to climb for the thrill. She was supersonic. Tyree was always a special place too, in the moment, just be. Such light and such love of Domborig standing by the sea. As time with our family was the most important thing that made both our hearts well and truly sing. Dogs on the beach, swimming in the sea, what could be better than living so free? Sand in our toes, where the wind blows, Lisa's love of life there, everyone knows. Many family times in hiding were spent, and all of those experiences feeling heaven sent. Rock pooling and laughter on the empty beach. Nothing was ever quite the same or ever out of reach. Such simple times with horses and dogs, and stoke up the fire and get warm with the logs. Cards and board games, so much did we play, especially when the visitors came to stay. And Lisa invited so many of you there, and it was always and it was always enjoyed with so much love and such care. The kids will no doubt continue this fine tradition, and I'm sure they will make it their absolute mission to carry on with the legacy that she held so true, to live in the moment forever, through and through, and someday bring their own kids there to stay and tell them the future stories about what Granny Thatch might say. Lisa's memory and legacy will live on, it's very true, and guide us on each day with what we need to do. We will carry love and light for Lisa in many a new day, and each and every one of us in a slightly different way. We will all have some good days and sad days, it's true. We will all just soldier on. What else are we meant to do? Lisa brought such joy to whoever it was she met. A better friend, you see, you could not find or get. Sarah, Sammy, and Diana too, she loved you very much, so loyal and so true. Alison, Fiona's are but just a few more of the many lives she touched, hundreds and score more. So let's all take a lesson out of Lisa's great big book and learn of ourselves today and learn of ourselves today and have a good old look. Are we doing enough? Can we love some more? She felt this very strongly. She felt this, I'm so sure. She would say, live life to the full and praise this lovely day, and love yourself, why not, in every single way. As our song always said, love is all around. And if we look for it hard enough, then love certainly will be found. We all will miss Lisa in our own special way as we process all this loss on this celebration day. You all have your memories of naughty friend or loving sister, daughter, and of mother too. She was all of these things, and especially just for you. She had a knack of making you feel most important on that day, to make you feel better about yourself in each and every way. A daughter, an auntie, a friend, a sibling or confidant, Lisa would always listen, a better ear you could not want. We will all take a piece of Lisa away with us today to make us smile again and to send us on our way. So don't look backwards, but forwards off we go. The future we need to make, but we certainly do not know. But because Lisa lived, the world is a better place, and there will be no other who can her replace. She loved you all, and you're here on show today to celebrate that love for her in this time-honoured way. You all make such a difference in Lisa's lovely life, and I'm so very lucky that she became my amazing wife. And we have 4 special kids to hold her memory true and to see her legacy right and to see it all the way through. It was love that first brought us both together, and it was love that will now stay with us forever. We both knew what it meant to stay the lengthy path. Even though it was rocky, our love was built to last. We all miss her terribly. We had some places to go. The children all grow up. We certainly weren't to know. But the children always came first. For them, the happiest to be was the most important for Lisa. To know that, you see. She gave of her all for their lives to succeed. A special mother, of course, truly indeed. A life lived well is maybe plenty, you see, and then we fly off to be happy again and free. So she's possibly flying above her beloved Isle of Tiree, always looking around, always will be free. I love you, Lisa, and always my pup, as we first met together and fell so in love. A lady who needed to always give and give, as she gave of herself and certainly knew how to live. You have all felt today some of Lisa's great soul as she touched all our hearts, which was surely her best goal. Often a shining light at a party and wearing glamorous clothes, dressing with much colour from her head down to her toes. She brought the best out with her very radiant smile. It was always nice to see and truly did beguile. Lisa loved her many varied sayings, and some might say they were often like prayings. Embrace the cold, Lisa would say, when swimming in sea on a chill winter's day. Lisa made us all think about what was best to drink and eat, to make us think like this is quite a feat. And if Lisa could teach us all a good thing, it would be to live your life with not too much trouble and not too much bling. Be the best version of yourself that you can be, one that everyone can love and everyone can see. Take each new day as a brand new start, and this feeling was always so much from her heart. Lisa would want everyone to be positive in life, and that, I guess, is why I asked her my wife. You have all said such lovely words. What really could be sweeter than talking here and now about the lovely Lisa? There have been words of laughter and joy from good times past. The words that we hear are always meant to last. Of unconditional friendship and joy to be had. But now we are reflective and sometimes are sad. We feel we have such a loss and nothing ever the same. But life is very like that, never a game. But better to have loved than never loved at all. I loved my dearest Lisa. We certainly had a ball. Life living, love and laughter was all that we were ever after. She gave me all her love and taught me, oh, so much, and had that very, very fine feminine touch. So it's now with these last lines to release her on her way, and it's lastly with more poetry that I do solemnly say, Lisa, I loved you from the day we first met, and I will still always love you, a greater love I could not get. Thank you. And thank you to my children for saying all their lovely things too. Thank you all.
It takes a great deal of courage to stand up here and to speak. And I struggle to get people to do the Bible readings on a Sunday morning. And there are not as many people in the church as there are today. To do what you've just done, Jamie, is truly remarkable. I know we're remembering a remarkable lady, but that's very special. Thank you. You have been sitting for a while. We're going to stand together to sing our second hymn. It's a hymn that describes really Jesus' life and his ministry as if it were a dance. And in many ways, the nature of the hymn reflects Lisa's personality, always up to something and making the absolute best of it that she could. So we stand together to sing our second hymn in the hymn books, Lord of the Dance.
Thank
Please be seated. One of the songs that was on the playlist of music early on, before many of you may have arrived, was sung by Enya. These are the words, or the opening words of the song. Memories we share together, moments no one else can know. I will keep them close to me and never let them go. And that's what we've been doing today, in word and in song, in reflection. We've been remembering memories and moments in Lisa's life, good and challenging and everything in between. As I said, when the girls started sharing their poems, they are underpinned by one thing. It's an emotion. It has a red heart, and it can be chocolate and roses. But this isn't the kind of love that Jamie, Rosie, Sophia, Johnny and Susie have been sharing. The kind of love that they have known and that you have all known through Lisa is the kind of love that is described by Paul in his letter to the church in Corinth. And Peter, Lisa's elder brother, is going to read it for us now. Thanks, Peter.
Good afternoon, everyone. Corinthians 13. If I speak in the tongues of men or of angels, but I do not have love, I am only a resounding gong or clanging cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have faith that can move mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. If I give all I possess to the poor and give my body to hardship that I may boast, but I do not have love, I gain nothing. Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast. It is not proud, it does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails, but where there are prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be stilled. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part, but when completeness comes, what is in part disappears. When I was a child, I talked like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I put the ways of childhood behind me. For now we see only a reflection as in a mirror. Then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall fully know, even as I am fully known. And now these three remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. I'd also like to read a short poem I wrote for my darling sister Lisa. Lisa, the loving presence that is Lisa abides with us, radiant, positive, and dancing in light. But I wish you were still here, in the present. Loved ones, companions, and nature can sense you around us. Your love, a halo crescent. Your compassion, harmony, and strength, all pillars of your life, can guide us along the path to a fulfilled life. Your full life grew ever more golden and spiritual. Your legacy inspiring and unforgettable. Lisa's spirit set free in peace, and within that peace is joy, and within that joy there is great love, and within that great love there is the everlasting, unforgettable spirit of Lisa. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. The Corinthians passage that Paul writes is interesting because he admits that there are things in life that we don't understand, that there are some things that we can't rationalize or justify, but that with faith and hope we trust that after our time here, we may get the full picture. We might see without the blurred need of a reflection in a mirror. And that is our hope for Lisa today. That in the words of Emily Bronte, she is incomparably beyond and above us all. Whether still on earth or now in heaven, her spirit goes on and is at home with God. Let's pray together. Almighty God, for the wonder of this life, we bless you. For the touch of love and friendship, we thank you. For the way that good things fill our lives and give us enjoyment, we thank you, O God of life. We praise you that we are created with hearts to feel, hands to touch. And we are here today thankful for that heart and those hands and the kindness that we have known through Lisa, for her words, for her actions, and for the place that she held in each of our hearts. We bless you, O God, for the changing beauty that we see in creation, that we all experience. And we remember the different seasons of our own lives, recognized or unrecognized, that you are also a constant presence. And so today, as we thank you for Lisa Jane Roberts, we thank you for her part in your creation and for the many ways as a wife, as a mother, as an aunt, as a sister, a friend, a colleague, a neighbour, and much, much more. We thank you for the different aspects of her life that brought colour to ours. So may we go from here learning from her love for and enjoyment of life, her capacity to fill each day with energy and commitment, her care and concern for others, and her courage and determination, meeting, as Kipling said, both triumph and disaster with the same joie de vivre. As we give thanks, as we acknowledge how keenly her loss is felt, and the challenging days of adjustment that lie ahead. We pray for Jamie, for their 4 children, Rosie, Johnny, Sophia, and Susie, together with Lisa's mum, Florence, her siblings, all the extended family, and the many, many friends. May each one continue to know the love and support of those around them and your strength and presence, O God. In time, may tears give way to smiles, not because Lisa's loss is felt any less, but because we remember and give thanks and rejoice that we've been privileged to know her. We offer this prayer along with our own unspoken prayers of heart and mind, in the name of the one who brought light out of darkness, a light which remains now and forevermore. Amen. Now, they have already thanked you, but officially, I suppose, on behalf of the Roberts family, I'd like to thank you, all of you, for being here today, for taking the time to travel, to come and remember and celebrate Lisa and all that she has left behind. Thank you too, to you, for deciding that any donations should be to Arbroath and District Church today. On their behalf, I'd like to invite you to the Rookery in Carnoustie, which is next to, but isn't, the Golf Hotel. Immediately after the service concludes, the family will be delighted to greet you there. I should say that there are 2 car parks at the Rookery. The small one is much closer to the venue, and there's another one which is only a couple of 100 yards away. Please, if you could leave the small one available for those who would appreciate a shorter walk. In a moment, we're going to stand to sing our final hymn today. And then, if you are comfortable and able to do so, I would ask that you would remain standing for the final blessing. We will then hear the pipes again, and the family will leave immediately from the church. We'll open the side doors as well as the rear doors to then allow you all to make your exit in your own good time. Our final hymn this afternoon was sung at the memorial service following the Dunblane massacre, which was also remembered this past week. Those who were remembered there, like Lisa, whose life and personality we've celebrated today, shone and shine light into our lives. That light and that touch lives on through all of you now, which is a wonderful legacy. We stand together to sing our final hymn, Shine, Jesus, Shine. Lisa and all that she has left behind. Know the blessing and the peace of God with you, in the day and in the night, in times of darkness and times of light. God is always by your side. Amen.